Welcome to the WellWaveNOW Backstory series. Today we have the opportunity to speak with Jesslyn. Jesslyn is the CEO of a product that I love. I got introduced to it a couple of years ago. We actually started talking about it on a community pharmacy podcast that I host, and community pharmacies love it, and you'll know why here in just a minute. But we want to get more into your background, Jesslyn, and thank you for being our guest today.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, so first off, where are you? Where did you grow up? Tell us a little bit about your childhood.
Okay, so I am a fifth generation Atlantan. And so my dad's side of the family grew up here. And what's interesting about that is BioLite actually got started out of my parents' garage. So where I grew up is where the company got started. So we are definitely a local Atlanta family, local Atlanta brand. And we're very proud of that. But growing up, I had a great childhood. I went to a school called Lovett here in Atlanta, small little private school from K through 12, and then went to the College of Charleston in South Carolina, went to the University of Georgia, majored in theater and communication studies, minored in human development. So pretty much I majored in soft skills, and then had a list of odd jobs from
Well,
um,
no, no, we're gonna take you back a little bit. Now, were you an only child, or did you have some siblings, or what happened there?
So I was the youngest of three girls. So my dad was super macho, played football at South Carolina, then transferred over to Georgia, was a UGA SAE there. And so when he had three girls, he was like, oh my God. And we were very girly. I looked up to my two older sisters a lot, and we all went to love it. And there was a time when there was at least 15 of me and my cousins at Lovett
Mhm.
for a period of many years. So we were super close, super tight knit. They called us the Rollins clan.
All right.
You
So
were a
now
good
you said you were super. Everybody, you and your sister were super girly, but you also said later on you got into it in the theater and drama. But now, what else were you into? Were you girly? You could still be athletic. Were you athletic? Were you into music? Did you play an instrument, or was it just Barbie dolls, Jocelyn?
So I was very athletic. They say that if dad was to have a son,
Hmm.
I was his son.
Hmm.
I was the closest thing he ever got to it. I did cheerleading, I did track. I was very fast. I got that from dad. And surprisingly, for all 5'3" of me, I was really good at the long jump.
Hmm.
So early on in high school, I jumped 17 feet, like somewhere. It was wild.
Yeah.
I was a frog, and then I loved cheerleading. I was captain of the cheerleading squad. But really, what if people talk like know me from Love It? What they knew me as was I was on stage. I was an actress. I loved performing, whether that was in chorus or on stage. My love was comedy. So any time that there was a comedic role, I went after it. And then but had no clue what I was going to do with a career, with college, because I had so many different interests.
Good.
Yeah. Well, Jesselyn, with your that much family around you, fifth generation, being from Georgia, being a Southern peach, what family traditions are most memorable to you growing up?
So like I said, I've got a big family on dad's side. Um, and we always had Thanksgiving at my parents' farm in Canton, Georgia. And my mom, who's speaking of Southern peaches, so she is a Vidalia onion. So she was the onion princess down in Vidalia, Georgia. And she really is the hostess with the mostest. And so you'd have all of my aunts, all of my uncles, all of my cousins come in, and we would have unbelievable food from all of the aunts. And now everybody is very much overcooking. They
Mhm.
like all of the cousins and aunts and mom is over it. So now for Thanksgiving, we we just enjoy each other's company and have it catered. And so you've got, I think we have like 15 grandchildren and growing in the family. And so the Rollins clan is really taking over. And it is just, it's a lot of fun to be a part of the family. And then also another thing that we used to do is every Christmas we would all go skiing together. So my dad and his family, they bought a place up in Steamboat Springs, Colorado when he was in high school. And so that love for skiing and love for the West started with them. And they've passed that on to me and my sisters and all my cousins. And that is a rip roaring good time.
Great. So that family interaction and has influenced you quite a bit. And you've mentioned your father a number of times. Hope my son mentions me as much when he talks about things. But given all that, who do you think who influenced you the most up to the day?
100% mom and dad. Mom really showed me how to work and be kind to people. Everybody loves my mother. I mean, she was the homecoming queen when she was a junior. And I was talking about this with the team member of mine that she is literally the most charming woman I've ever met. And I just remember being in carpool and we would just be talking and she'd be talking and talking and talking. And I'd be like, please, can we go home? And now I think that's who I've become. Now my boyfriend's trying to drag me out of conversations at church and stuff like that. But she's a delight, phenomenal interpersonal skills, phenomenal performance skills. And then my dad was my role model when it came to what it looked like, what hard work looked like. I mean, dad was he was an anesthesiologist and pain specialist for 43 years. We're talking night shifts, we're talking long hours, and he never complained. Like, I don't remember, and he was never sick. And these were the days where you would go to work when you were sick. And he was an animal, and he did such a good job ensuring that me, nor my sisters, nor my mom ever wanted for anything. And I admire him so much. I admire them both so much, but
that's amazing.
I put a lot of pressure on myself to make sure that legacy of hard work continues.
Yeah. Well, Jesslyn, I know we're going to get more into the details when we do our full WellWaveNOW podcast with you next week. But just in brief, what is the essence of the wellness work that you do today?
So if you are new to BioLite, it is right here. So BioLite is a medical strength sports drink. It combines the science of an IV bag with the convenience of a sports drink so that anybody and everyone can have medical strength hydration. Going back to my family, it was started because my mom had breast cancer and struggled through her chemotherapy treatments. My dad, with his experience, wanted to create a product that would bring the IV bag home to people. So now that mom has beat cancer and dad is retired, they now get to boss me around as the CEO of our family's company. And it's a joy to get to work with them, and it's a joy to get to build something that is changing lives in so many ways.
And that's what the second part of that question is. So you get what do you personally get out of this work? So you get the joy of being interacting and working with your parents, and tell us a little bit more about the changing lives and what you get from doing that.
So it's very serendipitous that we have light in our name, BioLite. And really our goal is to be a light in people's lives. So whether they're going through some hard stuff like cancer, they've got a POTS diagnosis, that whatever, or they're just trying to get through their 9 to 5 on a construction crew or in a roofing company, or like something is fun as like a wedding or a bachelorette party. Like BioLite is here to be a light for people when and where they need us. And if ever I've hit a rough patch or a valley in the day or a month or a year, I always go back to the testimonials that we receive. And if you look on Amazon or our website, I mean, they are glowing. Once again, trying to be a light. And that's really what keeps me going. and keeps our entire team so engaged in the work that we do.
Yeah, you really already answered my next question. And every time I've ever had the opportunity to have a conversation with you, Jesslyn, you've always just been so upbeat and positive. I hardly could imagine you having a bad day. But on those challenging days, is that what you do? You go back to those testimonials?
Yes. It doesn't make sense for me, and it doesn't make sense for our team to have created a product that already exists, to fill a need that's already been filled. And going back to those testimonials show that we are doing something different and that we are doing something that is helping people. And it would be a problem if BioLite was removed off the shelves. It would be a problem if people didn't have access to it. And so that meaning, that purpose is what can get me through the hardest of days.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Okay. So with that, so now you've gotten through the hardest of days and you,
More to come.
pardon? What was that? Yeah.
The hardest of days, they're never ending.
That's true.
Right.
But hopefully your valleys will be, your valleys will be high and your mountains will be low. So we'll get through that. But with all that, do you have a dream project for yourself, for the company right now that you want?
A dream. Well, the dream project is building BioLite. I mean, we started at zero. I mean, zero people knew about us. We had $0 in the bank. And now, we've climbed over the course of a decade, a little bit under a decade, into this multi-million-dollar business and brand. And I mean, so, like millions of customers. And so, I mean, I think that we're only just beginning. That building BioLite is really what I'm most excited about, and taking it as big, as national, as global as we can.
I was going to ask that before we get to some the what I call the speed round of fun facts. Are you international yet with that? Okay, so no U.S. only.
U.S. only.
Okay. All right, Jesslyn, here are the rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay. Are you more of an early bird or a night owl?
Grown into an early bird.
Kind of have to be as a CEO, don't you?
Ugh.
Yeah. And do you prefer mountains or beach?
Mountains.
Yeah, you talk about going skiing in Colorado, of course. And do you prefer, this is going to be a trick question here, do you prefer coffee, tea, or something else? BioLite.
I love a dirty martini.
That's the something else. All right, awesome. Jesslyn, it has been a pleasure to have you on to get to know you a little better. Jesslyn Rollins is the CEO of BioLite. It is a hydration that you've never experienced before. It is a clinical hydration. I think it's like 500% more electrolytes than you would get from a traditional sports drink. Is that true? Am I quoting that correctly?
It's 650%.
Oh, gee. Wow. Okay, excellent. And we look forward to learning more about you and your project. But thank you, Jesslyn. Appreciate you being our guest today on the Backstory, and look forward to interviewing you next week. And until next time, everyone, stay curious and remember, wellness, it's in you.